Good evening. The regular meeting for the City Commission for Tuesday, December 12th, 2023 will come to order. Please join me in silencing your cell phones. Thank you very much. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Cleveland.
Here.
Vice Mayor Perrine.
Here.
Commissioner Hartman.
Here.
Commissioner Martin.
Here.
Commissioner McGirt.
Here.
Thank you.
Please stand while Police Department Senior Chaplain Tom Personal will give us the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the blessing and honor and the good fortune we have to live in this wonderful community, Lord. We come together and we want to cover these folks in prayer tonight, Lord. We want to pray that you'd give them the wisdom and discernment and knowledge to carry out their duties, Lord, and give them the temperament to take care of this. And Lord, we're just so grateful that they volunteer their time to do this service for us, Lord. And mostly we pray, Lord, that whatever they accomplish here today will bring you glory. And we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
And now, resident, retired senior executive of finance for Lockheed Martin, Bob Gatchell will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Mr. City Manager, are there any changes to the published agenda?
Yes, sir. I have 3 changes. I'm moving 3 items out of the consent agenda for future meetings. Item 7I, and that's a special event. Consider the approval of the Fat Tuesday on Flagler Mardi Gras Parade 2024 event that is supposed to be held on Tuesday, February the 13th, 2024. Item 7J, special event. Consider the approval of the Light Up Flagler event 2024 on Friday, December 6th of 2024. And then also 7K, special event. Consider the approval of Flagler Avenue Wine Walk events for 2024 on the following Saturdays, January 27th, February 24th, March 23rd, April 27th, May 25th, June 29th, July 27th, August 24th, September 28th, October 26th, November 30th, and December 28th, 2024. So we're going to move these 3 items, please.
Got it. Thank you so much. That'll be off the consent agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your city's business meeting. We're delighted you're here, and we look forward to hearing from you and offering some presentations. City Manager, thank you for that update. I have the pleasure at this time to introduce and invite to the podium Town of Ponce Inlet Mayor and Volusia League of Cities President, the Honorable Loris Paritsky, to outline a presentation. A little bit about Ms. Mayor Paritsky's background. She is she has a license to practice law in the state of New Jersey as a trial attorney. She has tried cases in front of the New Jersey Supreme Court, and she, on the Ethics Committee, attorney for ethics. She's also been admitted to practice before the United States Supreme Court. She leads the Volusia League of Cities and has done an excellent job in mentoring your mayor. Ms. Paritsky, we're delighted you're here. Thank you, Mayor, for being here.
Thank you so very much. It's such an honor to be here this evening. Mayor, council members, thank you. Well, I would like to speak with you a little bit about the Volusia League of Cities. I'm sure that all of you have familiarity with this organization. And what I'd like to do is share with you the role of the League and the mission. It's my hope that each of you will consider participating to whatever extent you're able to, if you are not already doing so. I would ask that each of you think back to the time when you decided to enter into public service. There was a reason you did that. Whether it was to effectuate some particular vision, whether it was to stop something that was going to happen, whether it was a desire to give back to your community. Whatever it was, advocacy, communication, trying to sway opinions, all of that is the common denominator of effective advocacy and the reason why you have entered into this service. And I want to show you how the League's mission and your desires as an effective advocate, it's all aligned. And we as a League are here as a resource for you. Now, what I want to share with you is that the League itself represents all of the municipalities in our county. You know that we are the collective voice of all of the local elected officials. And how do we do that? We do that through you, the League members. And we provide you with opportunities to speak with the legislators. I'd like to show you again how we can align our mission and your wishes to be the most effective advocates you can for your residents. Now, what I have here is a complete list of all the member cities. It's all of the cities in Volusia County, and New Smyrna Beach is right there. Now, the League's direction itself is charted by a board of directors that's made up of elected officials, and here are your officers and directors. There are 6 mayors, there are 4 commissioners or council members, and the board of directors is elected each year. Also included on the slide is Karen Allen. You know Karen, she's our executive director. The board meets bi-monthly and sets the agenda for the League's business. And all of these meetings are held at the dinner meetings that you're all invited to by Karen. We have agendas at those business meetings. Now, at the beginning of 2023, we set out goals. We set out goals for the League, and our business meetings are tied into those goals. Some were new goals, some are maintaining and enhancing existing goals through the years that have been created by prior directors. Now, our first goal was to build a very, very strong framework for increased and effective advocacy. When we reviewed our bylaws, we realized we needed to revise them so that we could articulate the roles of each of the officers and each of the directors. We also wanted to make sure that we put money into our budget to help defray costs in the event one of our elected officials wished to go to Tallahassee at a time when perhaps the municipality said, you know, we want you to just go on, say, legislative action days, but there's a committee meeting that maybe you should attend, that your presence should be felt there. Well, we have put in the budget now the ability to help you get up there, and you just need to contact us. Now, the second goal is to bring newly elected officials into leadership positions early on and to get involved with the Volusia League of Cities right away, and also with the Florida League of Cities. Now, you know of the Florida League of Cities. That's essentially the umbrella organization for all the county leagues, and we work more or less hand in hand with them. So how do we accomplish all these goals for the effective advocacy? Well, we developed, to begin with, a mentoring program. Now, the mentoring program is something that has been very, very effective, and what we have attempted to do is match up more seasoned elected officials with the newly elected officials to help on your path as you work with your community, as you work with your residents, as you work with each other to help there. We've also put together an advocacy committee that is chaired by our first vice president, and that's Nancy Miller, the mayor of Daytona Beach Shores. The purpose of those meetings are to discuss issues and have the benefit of collaborating with our diverse municipalities. And just recently, we had as our agenda item the Live Local Act, which I believe you're all quite familiar with, and some of the issues and how problematic that statute is, that Florida statute will be as applied to our different municipalities. And at our last meeting, we did discuss how to modify, make certain suggestions and recommendations, and speak with our legislators. Also, our directors do come to city council meetings to just talk about the league. We're available to create a Civics 101 class for you if you would like for your residents. Again, the purpose of that is to help you help with the grassroots advocacy for your residents. We have workshops, and we hope we're having timely topics, helpful topics like council-manager relationship. We also have a Form 6, how to fill out a Form 6 coming up, and understanding the appropriation process. Many of you attended. We had a roundtable. We invited all of our state legislators in our delegation in Volusia County recently, and you had the opportunity to listen to them, ask questions, and that engagement has been very helpful. Now, all of these efforts have increased the advocacy of all our elected officials. It has. The business meetings that you go to, you know there's a networking opportunity before the dinner. You do know that we try to bring very timely speakers, as well as legislators, lobbyists, people to help us understand what has been filed in Tallahassee, what we can do, what would be helpful. And also, we've had many of our sponsors speak, representatives of hospitals, insurance companies, FPL. So our league's commitment is to escalate advocacy through its many resources and the mentorship program. And what we're hoping to do is help create a strong foundation for all of you. And we're here for you. If we can help in any way, we hope you do not hesitate to ask. So I thank you. That is the presentation. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mayor Paretsky?
I would like to thank Mayor Paretsky for also mentoring me through my first year, and say how much I appreciate the work you've done helping us all learn to be municipal officials. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Councilwoman Martin. And I want to say that is very rewarding for all of us to do the work that we're doing. So thank you. And thank you again for having me here.
Vice Mayor.
Thank-
Question from Vice Mayor.
Oh, I just want to comment. I've been on your Florida League of Cities legislation for land use and economic development this year, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I've learned so much, and I'm excited to go on to Tallahassee to present the two bills for sovereign immunity and mobility to help our municipalities. And what you guys do is amazing, and to see that from ground up was a real true blessing for me. Thank you.
Oh, that is very nice to hear. Thank you so much, Vice Mayor.
Appreciate that.
anything?
Commissioner McGurk.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor,
Yes.
I want to thank you for coming out. We became directors at the same time, and I had since gotten off. And it makes me absolutely ecstatic that you're now the president. I don't think someone can do a better job than what you're doing and what you're going to do. And thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Please let us know what we can do to help you achieve your goals.
We're very appreciative of the engagement that we've had with many of our local elected officials when we go up to Tallahassee, all of the letter writing, and also the participation in our local advocacy committee, because we do have one at the state level, as you all know, the advocacy committee, but at the local level, we're able to focus on what's important to Volusia County for our residents. So
Appreciate all the great work you're doing.
thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you, ma'am.
much again,
You bet.
Mayor.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Mr. City Manager, have you got a report for us tonight, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I just wanted to announce that accreditation assessors, they have completed their review of our police department and are recommending full accreditation without any conditions. I'm so proud of our police department. Actually, one of them made the comment to our police department. He said that's an agency and culture that they'll be proud to work for, and there is no greater compliment than we could have received on this one here. So kudos to our police department, the chief, and especially to Blake Sadisky, who is actually in charge of the accreditation. The assistant city manager and I and the city engineer have met with Hazen Construction regarding the crushing concrete sites on Freeman. We have shared with them the test results from the reports, also the recommendations that was provided in that report. And I provided some additional recommendation to them to improve the site and improve the noise and the dust conditions out there. So they got the report and they promised that they will go through it and they'll come back to us sometime after the new year. The mayor and I have joined a Zoom meeting with Senator Tom Wright and other cities regarding the Live Local bill. Senator Thomas Wright and trying to lead some of the group to convince some of the legislators in Tallahassee how it would impact cities in Volusia County. City manager from DeBerry, I think he went to Tallahassee either this week or last week to meet with them. We have had meeting on Chapter 50 in this room here a couple of days ago. We will come back to the commission with a public meeting to go over some of these recommendations, and then we will take it as an official item to the commission later on. We're having some issues with obtaining appraisals. So one of the appraisal company that they are on board, the guy in charge, he had an accident. So that's why we have 3 appraisals that we're waiting for. One is on the Turnbull Creek, one was on the 120 Flagler, and one on the Women's Club. So it's taken some time, but I think my understanding now, I think he's got, so we should be getting him pretty time soon. As soon as we get him, the RFP for the Women's Club will be out. The RFP for 120 Flagler will be out, and hopefully we could finish up on the title issues with the Turnbull Creek. Tomorrow we have our senior luncheons at Babe James, and also we have our Corbin Park meeting. That is in the evening. The luncheon is at 11:30 in the morning. I'm going to have the HR director to give you an update on the CM search firm updates. We have received 9 proposals. The selection committee have shortlisted 4, so she'll give you some more details on that. Public participation, we had quite a few participants at the last meeting. Just a couple of items that need some actions. One of them, I think it was about the trail, that they were concerned that they might have pedestrians walk onto the roadway to being shoulder along some of the segments on Turnbull Bay. They also had some concerns about the Ferry Green Avenue. They would like to have some of maybe a white lining for the golf carts. And so we will send their comment about the trail to the consultants, and then we'll review as far as striping on Ferry Green for the golf carts. Another action that, if you recall, one of the residents complained about the crosswalk at Ocean and Atlantic. So the chief is going to present to, it's called the Volusia Coalition Pedestrian Safety. They have a pedestrian safety program. They're reviewing crosswalks throughout Volusia County. So we're gonna try to give them this one. So what they'll do is they'll review it to see if there is any compliance issue, and they suggest any recommendations and improvements. With that, Mayor, I'll have Heather give you the update on the CM search firm, and then I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, sir. Director Kidd, floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Thanks for letting me give you a little update here. As you know, we went out for RFP to find our executive search firm for our city manager on October 27th. As Khalid said, we received 9 proposals for that RFP. The committee publicly reviewed those and evaluated the proposals on 12/7 last week. 4 consultants were shortlisted and have been invited to present to you at a special meeting on January 10th. Those 4 consultants are Strategic Government Resources, or SGR as it's commonly known, GovHR USA, Colin Basinger and Associates, and Slavin Management Consultants. On January 10th, each consultant will have about 30 minutes to do a presentation for you. We've asked them to do a high-level presentation to give you an overview, only about 10 to 15 minutes, and leave the remainder of the time for you to ask them questions so you can get the details that you need from them. After the 4 presentations, you all will have an opportunity to discuss and make your final selection. And then once that's completed, we'll get our contract secured and move on with our process for that.
Any questions on this from any commissioner?
All right,
Thank you, Heather. Appreciate it. Any questions of the city manager on anything part of his report? I have just one, Colin. Did we make the deadline to submit to FDOT for the Sun Trail regardless of?
Yes, sir.
We made that deadline. Good, very good. Anybody else? Okay, excellent. Thank you. And now it's time for public participation, the favorite part of the meeting here, where we get to listen to you. And so this is these are your commissioners at work. We're interested in hearing what you have to say. This is a monologue. You're a monologue, not a dialogue. So we will not be answering questions, but the city attorney and city clerk taking and the city manager taking notes, and you'll be contacted on your issue should there be a follow-up needed. When you come forward to the podium, your name, please, and your address for the record. And then you'll be given 3 minutes. The green light will come on when you start talking. When you have a minute to go, the yellow light will come on, and you'll be finished when the red light comes on. At this time, we invite you to come up and tell us what's on your mind. We're anxious to hear from you. Mr. Caswell.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me. John Craig Caswell, 1104 North Peninsula Avenue in the lovely city of New Smyrna Beach. And this will strike you as I came up to thank you all. 1 year ago, we sat here trying to rescue the car show. Last Saturday, with my umpire device, we had 172 cars and close to 1,000 people on Canal Street. We are here to support our application to continue the car show. It is still a privately funded venture between several of us dedicated residents. And we want to thank you for allowing us to pull this off. January last year, it was 38 degrees. We had 22 cars. December, 172 cars. It's a 26-year-old tradition that should continue. And we ask for the same terms and conditions that you granted us last year in order to continue this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your remarks. Jana Caswell.
Good evening, Jana Caswell, 1104 North Peninsula Avenue. And in another rare event, you're going to hear a husband and wife agree with each other and say basically the same thing. But I also wanted to thank you for your support of the car show. As Craig mentioned, you know the history of the car show, you know how we got involved. We're just so proud to be able to say that the car show has grown from those 20 cars to just shy of 200 cars. We were also very honored to be asked by the city and to be able to support the city at the Veterans Day event with doing a mini car show and bringing some of our participants out for that. And we were delighted to be able to give back to the city and to honor the proud veterans that have served our country. Just on a personal note, it's really about more than the cars for me. If you've had the opportunity to come down to the car show, if you've been able to see the people that are there, listen to their stories, see their smiles, just partake of the sense of community and the sense of neighborhood, the people who absolutely love our town and the showcase for our town that the car show brings out. It's really an amazing event. And truthfully, as much as it's been a lot of hard work, the car show has given me more than I've put into it, and I'm delighted to be a part of it. So thank you for your support of that. As Craig mentioned, we are not a club. We do not have a source of income. We do not and will not charge admission to the show. We are just a group of neighbors and residents that love this great tradition. And if you will honor us by allowing us to continue it, we would be delighted to help run it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your comments. Ms. Jones.
Good evening. Liz Jones, 314 Canal Street, and president of the Canal Street Historic District Association.
Liz, pull that microphone right
A
up to your
little
mouth.
bit too far. I'm here to represent the members and merchants on Canal Street who do keep their businesses open, and they have been thrilled with the way Jana and Craig Caswell have taken over and improve the car show. It's really a difference of night and day. It has been a delight working with them, and we are so happy to have the car show on Canal Street. Thanks.
Thank you for your comments, ma'am. Evening, ma'am.
Hi, Deborah Hall, 4435 Katy Drive, New Smyrna Beach. And I am here also to support the car show. My husband and I have been part of New Smyrna Beach for 37 years, and we have been active participants in the car show all 27 years that it has existed. I've been helping Jana and Craig since they took over last January, and they're doing an awesome job. And we, as well as many people I know, would love to see this event be able to continue as it is. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Appreciate your remarks, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm here to, it's not a complaint, but it's a little controversial subject regarding the roosters on Flagler Avenue. My name is Cindy Holliday with 2 L's in Holiday. I reside at 48 Sandra Circle in New Smyrna Beach. Last Monday on the 4th, I went to meet friends for lunch at Third Wave, and I parked in the parking lot behind the Civic Center. And when I got out of my car, a lot of little roosters were following me, and I was like, okay, walking over to Flagler Avenue, or to Flagler, and there was one particular rooster. He's white with black specks, and he kept getting closer and closer to the point that I felt threatened. He started making aggressive noises. I had my umbrella, and I turned around to protect myself with the umbrella. He raised up, jumped up about this high, feathers spread, making all kinds of aggressive noises, and I literally had to have my umbrella to protect myself. I just turned and I kept walking. He kept following me, followed me clear to Flagler Avenue. I felt very uncomfortable with that. I know that we have ordinances. I'm not going to go over them. You guys are well aware of your ordinances. We have a nuisance animal one. It's if they chase people or cars. It's running at large. I have pictures of all the roosters there, unlawfully feeding them and feral animals, unlawful to abandon animals within the city limits. It's unlawful to keep or maintain by feeding the poultry, except under the Urban Chicken Act. And even under that act, they do not allow roosters in the city limits. And I know this is controversial, and what I'm asking is if you remove the aggressive roosters, clean up the parking lot. There's pumpkins there, and there's also feed water and dishes there that have no food in them. So when you get out of the car, the roosters think you're there to feed them, and we're not all there to feed them. A couple years ago, I had my grandson with me, and one was chasing us. Now my grandson is petrified of roosters. And then as of today, I've heard of some other children being also attacked by the roosters. So I would appreciate if you take this under advisement to clean up the parking lot and to post a sign with the ordinance of it's unlawful to feed the animals there. Thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your remarks.
Ms. Hall, can you provide your number to the city clerk, please, so I can contact you? Thank you.
Perfect. Just hand those to the city clerk, ma'am.
And Mayor,
Yes, sir.
if I may, just
Please.
So she'll be happy that we are working on somebody to actually trap the roosters and remove them out of there. So
Very good.
I continue to hear that a lot,
Thank you,
but I
ma'am.
don't
Appreciate
see
it.
any action.
Thank you for your comments. We'll get back to you. Mr. Ison.
Good evening, Mayor Cleveland, City Commissioners, City Manager, City Attorney, and City Clerk. I'm here, Mike Ison. My address is 624 North Riverside Drive, and I'm actually here to speak in favor of the New Smyrna Car Show. Almost 2 decades as a participant and a viewer of this car show, I really hope the commissioners can see a way to make something happen and keep this in our city. It's kind of like Veterans Day or Memorial Day here in New Smyrna Beach. It's been around for so long, and when I attend it, I look and see family members. This is something that folks maybe not of wealth that can come and bring their family to, and it's so much fun. And families and children get to see this and visit with people, and they're just there to visit and have a good time. So I'm hoping that we can find a resolution that won't put undue financial burden to our residents that are sponsoring this out of pocket. I know we do lots of other things in the city to make the city beautiful. Look at our Canal Street, what we do with the lights. I think this should be this is what New Smyrna is all about, because I know for the last 2 decades I've been involved in that. So I hope you guys can find a way to make something happen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your remarks. Thank you.
Hello, good evening. Bobby Worth Gallery, 304 Canal Street, and I am here to speak in favor of the car show. As being a merchant on Canal Street, the car show brings families to Canal Street that normally wouldn't come to Canal Street. They spend hours on the street. They're going to our restaurants. They're getting drinks, ice cream, and they're coming into our businesses and our stores. And we know that the car show doesn't have a revenue stream. A lot of us businesses have supported the car show monetarily where we can, but we would hope the city can continue to do that and help them and continue to have them stay, because it's a wonderful event for the historical district to have historical cars on our street monthly. So we really appreciate that, and thanks for all your hard work, guys. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your remarks. Before we go on, if you're here from the car show, can you show of hands? We've got the message. If you have anything else to add that hasn't been talked about, we'd be happy to hear from you. But we're hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much. Whoever's next, please.
I believe that's me. I'm sorry, I started a little bit early. I tried to join the other meeting. My name is Beth LaBreche. That's Labreche. I'm at 402 Bouchelle, but I'm also the principal of Sacred Heart. So I'm here tonight to talk to you a little bit about something Chief Feldman helped us with. Let me tell you what our mission is at Sacred Heart is to integrate Catholic faith and values with learning and life, treating each student as a unique child of God in a safe, supportive, and challenging academic environment. I have some people with me here tonight that will be speaking on behalf of Sacred Heart as well, so I'll just get to the numbers. We serve 249 students, 210 families. With a staff of 29, 59% of our families reside in New Smyrna Beach, while 75% of our families work in New Smyrna Beach. 95% of our students share a faith-based belief in Christianity. Our current tuition rate average is $7,200. It's our goal to maintain a tuition rate that's affordable for all people that would like to attend Sacred Heart. It's a 63-year-old building, so there's lots of work that needs to be done, and that tuition is very low. In some manner, 85% of our families are on scholarship. During the summer of 2022, my parents, who are here with me tonight, asked me to think about how we could bring a police officer to campus. I approached Chief Feldman. He helped me with the idea of perhaps using a police officer to which he didn't have any extras on staff to provide. So we went to Volusia County and hired the Volusia County officers off duty. This rate is incredibly high. We fundraise for the fees. This year, the budget is 30%, which is what I've put in my budget to cover 30% of the police officer. Basically, if we don't have any funds, we don't have an officer standing at our door. So I'm asking you to help us with the conditions that we're living in today. Our safety is our number one priority of our students next to education. With your approval tonight, or you thinking about it this evening and listening to my families behind me tonight, I'd like you to consider us being New Smyrna proud. We participate in many of the activities in the city. And one last little thing. We have officers there, but my families will say to me, wouldn't it be great or wonderful if our officer was from our city? So I'm encouraging you to think about that. We're willing to help make a financial commitment to the cause. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your remarks.
Good evening. Hi. My name's Barbara Panagas, 1003 Turnbull Street, New Smyrna Beach. Tonight, I speak to you on behalf of the teachers at Sacred Heart School. We consider ourselves part of the New Smyrna Beach community. In recent years, we observed an increase in security measures in all educational institutions. Sacred Heart is not immune from the challenges by society today. We all live together in a time of unpredictable behaviors, extreme mental health, and drug abuse issues. At the beginning of the year, we were told that we need to wear sneakers or shoes we can run in, just in case. Having a dedicated police officer on campus brings numerous advantages. A swift response, a deterrent, potential threats, but most important, the sense of feeling secure for our students, our families, and our faculty. Sacred Heart is deeply embedded in this community and deserves the same level of safety services that our public schools enjoy. Our presence of a full-time officer is a proactive and responsible approach to ensuring the safety of the well-being of our students, our family, our faculty, and the New Smyrna Beach community. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your remarks. Evening.
Good evening. Christina Mary, 122 San Remo Drive in Edgewater. I am here representing Sacred Heart School.
Ma'am, just pull that microphone down to your mouth. You have a very nice, soft voice, but we want to hear you.
I'd like to take this opportunity to recall just 3 months into 2023, the events of March 27th of 2023 in Nashville. The Nashville Diocese called news of a morning mass shooting. 6 individuals, including 3 children and school head Catherine Cons, were fatally shot during the mid-morning hours of March 27th at the Covenant School in the Green Hills neighborhood of Nashville. The shooter, identified as a 28-year-old Audrey Hale, carried out an attack armed with a semi-automatic handgun and 2 short-barrel magazine-fed military-style semi-automatic weapons, including a foldable carbine and an AR pistol. And with ammunition designed for the close combat needs for U.S. military. The truth is, it's important to recognize that even in small towns like New Smyrna, the possibility of a school shootings cannot be completely ruled out. This is because statistically, mentally ill individuals can be presented in any community, including ours. With a 3 to 5 mile radius of the school, it is crucial to remain vigilant and take necessary precautions to ensure the safety of our students and our community. I represent my school, Sacred Heart, and I also represent my 10-year-old who goes to this school. I want to drive in the car line and feel safe when I see that officer waiting, smiling, opening the door for my daughter when I drop her off. And I want to pick her up. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your remarks.
Good evening. Jane Bauer-Routh, a parent at Sacred Heart School, as well as part of our school advisory board and security subcommittee. So to try not to repeat a little bit here, I think everyone understands the need for a police officer. Sadly, the need for a police officer at schools. So I want to talk a little bit of why our school is asking for one. And I think that comes back from May 2022, when as a security subcommittee, we started looking for a solution to make us a little extra safe with what the solution would be, and it became, our option was law enforcement. And when we looked around in Volusia County in New Smyrna Beach, we are the only school without law enforcement or a guardian on campus. And currently, most schools have a guardian and law enforcement. We are the second largest middle school. We have a middle school and a grade school in New Smyrna Beach. So when we were going down the journey of security, we surveyed our parents, and as you're seeing, the majority of our parents do want law enforcement on campus. And as well, we've already heard that there's increased mental illness, and mental illness occurs everywhere, unlike the shootings are not so tightly correlated with crime, but with mental illness, and that can happen in a large town or in our fabulous, safe, small town that we so much enjoy. So where this led us as a school was we had to reach out to the Volusia County Sheriff's Office to hire an off-duty deputy. So if a deputy's off-duty, we have to pay him overtime, which is what we're currently doing to protect our families. That's $97,000 a year, which is the single largest budget item for our school, besides, of course, having combined salary of our teachers. So right now, we are paying that $97,000 a year to have a law enforcement on campus. But we have another solution. I'm asking for your help to make this more financially sustainable for us, by giving us the opportunity to partner with our local police department to have the same rate as our New Smyrna Beach Middle School for a safety school officer. So we're removing the Volusia County Sheriff's Office and that unsustainable pay rate of overtime, and replacing it with a much more sustainable, lower cost, and we are getting even more additional benefits of, we get one officer that's there every day and builds a relationship, because Volusia County Sheriff's officers change, it's their days off, so it's someone new every day. So with a school safety officer from New Smyrna Beach, we have the same officer every day, and to me, we like to act local, we live local, we would love to be protected by our local police officers. These are the officers that choose to serve in New Smyrna Beach and protect us, and they would be protecting the families and the schools in New Smyrna Beach. We're just asking for your help to allow us to work with the New Smyrna Beach Police Department instead of the Volusia County Sheriff's Office. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. Appreciate your comments, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. My name is Jennifer Lee Hackett. I live in Port Orange, but my daughter goes to school at New Smyrna Beach, at Sacred Heart Catholic School. I'm coming from you as an emotional parent of a 9-year-old baby girl. I'm the daughter of a New York City retired cop. I have a teaching degree. I taught up at Flagler Palm Coast High School, and I left teaching because of all the code reds. Being a teacher in a school and hearing code reds and asking students to go into the middle of a classroom while you don't know if it's a drill or if it's active is frightening, not only to the teachers, but to the students themselves. The code red drills, or the absolute horror of what some people have as reality, is not something that I want for any child, especially mine. So as we're coming up here organized, doing our due diligence, this is something we've been working on since 2022. And I'd like you to think about your special loved one, whether it's your child or your grandchild, dropping them off at school. I circle the building at least once or twice. When security's there, I go home and I know that my baby will be there when I pick her up. And I would hate to think of anything along the lines of the horrific event and those parents that no longer have the fortune of picking up their child. So please consider our plea, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. And just for the crowd here, if you're here from Sacred Heart, please raise your hand, be recognized. We're hearing you. We get the message loud and clear. If you have something to offer that we have not heard, we'd love to hear from you. Not restricting you in any way, but we're getting the message loud and clear.
Hello, Jessica Higginbotham, 1931 Waterford Estates Drive in New Smyrna. Great to see friendly faces here. Thank you all very much for taking the time to hear from us. I serve as the president for the advisory board at Sacred Heart, and am also on the security committee. This is very near and dear to my heart. I won't go back over the event that happened in Nashville, which the previous speaker spoke to, but I do want to just point out a couple quick things that really hit home for us and made this such an important cause for us. 152 rounds were fired that day, and it took 14 minutes to take out that shooter because there was not an officer on campus. I think that made it an easy target. At Sacred Heart, we don't want to be an easy target. We don't want to be the only large school that does not have armed security in a way to stop an active shooter if that were to happen. So we come today to ask for our city's help in keeping our children safe. Some of the feedback I got was that this is setting a precedent. However, I think this is a precedent that we should be proud of as a community, that we stand up for our children and their safety and security. Let New Smyrna Beach be known and applauded for making our kids' safety a priority versus being another statistic. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you'll consider our contract, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your remarks, ma'am.
Sitting Commission, my name is Catherine Taylor Lamb. I live at 2277 Magnolia Drive here in New Smyrna Beach in Corbin Park. I'm also the parent of 10-year-old twins who attend Sacred Heart. They have been going to Sacred Heart since they were in kindergarten, and we love it there. I just wanted to clear up a possible misconception. A lot of our families at Sacred Heart are from single-parent households like myself. Sacred Heart is a very diverse community and a diverse community of students. A lot of us used to use the Step Up for Students scholarship, which was government money assisting us with our tuition. In July of 2023, Governor DeSantis empowered the school choice scholarship, and so now that opportunity is affordable. Makes that more affordable for a lot more families. I know one year I missed it by like $1,000. I was like, oh God. Funding follows the child. Protection should follow the child. There is no reason why our kids don't deserve the same proactive protection that other kids in our community get. It would be wonderful to see our local law enforcement fostering positive relationships with our kids, and to have local New Smyrna Beach law enforcement cultivating those relationships with our children and our parents on a daily basis. I think the benefit is not something you can buy. Thank you for your time. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your remarks, ma'am. Anyone else for public participation? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Melissa McClem. I'm also from Sacred Heart. I'm going to skip the redundancy because I think, like you said, the information's gotten across. For me, the bottom line is the number one goal is for our children to be safe, but also to learn. We can't have one without the other. If students and educators are to achieve their full potential, schools have to be safe, which means children must be safe or feel safe. Students that feel safe in schools are more engaged in class. They have higher academic achievement, lower rates of absenteeism, truancy, and behavioral issues. Our educators that feel safe themselves will also be able to focus on their academics for our children. They're more likely to stay in their position, and they'll be better equipped to teach and support our students. This is simple. Having a school safety officer is the only option. You cannot put a price on safety, and if you can, I urge you to sit and talk to me for an hour as I sit and I transport and fly these pediatric patients on a daily basis, and the outcome is there every day. Thank you.
Thank you for your remarks. Appreciate it, ma'am. Anyone else for public participation? Thank you very much. Seeing none, public participation is now closed. We'll move on to item 7, which is the consent agenda. Is there any commissioner which would like to pull any one of the items on there? Vice Mayor?
No.
None. Commissioner Martin?
No.
Commissioner McGurk? Commissioner Hartman? Mr. Rashadat, I am shocked and amazed.
Totally shocked.
With that, Mayor,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
And a second. Just before we do, I'd like to, for comment, offer the chief an opportunity to come up and talk about what he has in mind for Sacred Heart.
Thank you, Mayor, Commission. Yeah, I think that everything that was said tonight sums it up well. One of my priorities is investing in the youth in this town and protecting our youth. I think Sacred Heart, with 240 of our most precious assets, is something that we need to incorporate into our public safety plan. So I'm in strong support of this request. We've done several things, to include adding the school safety officer at the middle school, as well as a full-time lead instructor for our new law enforcement against drugs and bullying program. I think this is an excellent way to ensure that we're applying those safety resources across the city. And in addition, it's going to give me the additional resources that I need to really concentrate on the traffic enforcement part. So we talked a lot tonight about school safety. That definitely resonates with me. But in addition, Sacred Heart happens to be located on one of our busiest thoroughfares on US 1, Dixie Highway. So this officer will be assigned to the school during the day to cultivate relationships with our youth, to teach, and that's very important. But in addition to the obvious security measures they'll be able to provide, we will have them concentrate on the traffic in a very highly visible way on Dixie in front of the school for both morning rush hour and afternoon, which I think is something that we all agree is needed. So that officer, when they're not at the school and not operating during school hours, will be focused on reducing traffic on Dixie Highway as well. So with that said, I stand in support of the request made by our school and our parents, and thank you for the time, Mayor.
You bet. Appreciate that, sir. Appreciate that. Not to mention the role model that it will give to citizens and students for potentially becoming police officers in the future.
And Mayor,
Mr. City Manager.
Just to point out, so it would be clear for budget 24-25, there'll be an additional of $66,000 and change that would be added to the police department budget as a result of this. So.
And currently unbudgeted, yeah, unexpected.
Yes, sir.
Good enough.
But this year, I think we will manage, but there will be an additional $66,000 and change for the fiscal year 24-25.
Got it. Okay. Any other discussion before we approve the consent agenda?
Good work, ladies and gentlemen.
Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Yes, confirming there's 9 items you're approving on consent. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and L, I, J, and K were removed.
Thank you for the clarity.
Sure. Commissioner McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Perine?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The consent agenda is approved. Appreciate your participation, folks. Moving on to administrative items, item 8A, special event consideration of the approval for the Classic Cars on Canal for 2024 monthly, and the dates are listed. City Manager, would you set this one up, please?
Yes,
Sir?
You recall, Mayor, back at the end of last year when they pulled out of the car show from New Smyrna, and we were struggling to find someone to handle the car show and take over from there. So Mr. Caswell jumped in. He arranged to have the car show. We have waived the fee at the time, trying to just help him out because really it's a self-promoted event. He doesn't have any support from anybody at the time. Our expense involves the barricade closing off Canal Street from US 1 to Riverside, and also the parking lot for the chamber. The $500, that's the special event fee, that's what was waived. What's involved is the staff time and the barricade. So I asked Mr. Salazar to point out how much would be the financial impact as far as the events. So it came out to be $165, and also the barricade. There is $500 for the special event fee, and that will be covered under the $165. We have not charged the previous car show any fees previously. We have not waived the fee for any special events in the past 4 or 5 years, but the car show, since they started, they were not charged any fees at all. So when I talked to Mr. Salazar, I think he recommended that we do some type of co-sponsorship, the city and Mr. Caswell. So that's the recommendation. That's what you have before you today. It's the second Saturday of every month. So what they're asking is to approve the special events for the year 2024.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the setup. Director Salazar, the floor is yours, Rob.
Thank you, Commission, Mayor, Khalid, thank you for setting me up. Basically reiterating what our city manager just outlined, the car show has come to us asking for how can we continue this partnership that we've worked on this past year. I've offered the solution of a potential co-sponsorship. Following what our city manager just outlined, we had waived the fee for 2023 from the major special event fee of $500 a month. If that fee had been in place, that would have been about $6,000 that the car show would have paid towards the city. I've spoken with the car show organizers. They are obviously in favor of a potential fee waiver or a co-sponsored event as well, whatever solution we can come to as a city to continue to have the car show in our town and on our Canal Street is what I'm in favor of, being a very popular event with a lot of community support. One thing I will want to point out that Chief Feldman did note to me that when we do have the closure on Canal for the show, he also has either a volunteer or potentially a community service aide or an officer directing traffic as needed. So that could be a potential additional expense, not just the barricades. So there's that as well. But that's my summary. I would support a co-sponsorship or a fee waiver, or whatever your direction, further potential options could be outlined.
Very good. Thanks for the report, and just stand by for questions, comments, questions from the commission. Vice Mayor.
How much would the co-sponsorship be for us? Not including the labor of the barricades and all that.
There would be no additional fee outside of labor.
So my question would be, why couldn't we handle this $500 continuous fee like we do the food trucks, that type of thing for the permit? And then also, this group isn't a for-profit, and we do offer a half a discounted rate for the fee, even though we have not waived any fees this year. Could we look at them as a not-for-profit and just charge them half, 50%, which would be $250 for the whole year?
So there's two fees. There's the building permit, which is the $550 for the continuous event, and then there's the major special events fee. So even the events that my department hosts, the leisure services, we still get the building fee. So that fee would still be in place, I think, what you're illustrating. So
And
the
how much is
$550, the $550 continuous fee, even if we co-sponsored the event, that fee would still be allocated. The major special event fee of the $500 a month or $6,000 a year with a co-sponsorship, we would get away from that fee being a co-sponsored city event. So that would be the primary savings for the organizer.
Anything else from you, Commissioner Perrine?
I'll touch on the nonprofit 50%.
So before you do that, is there revenue coming in? I understand food trucks and 5Ks, 10Ks, and you know, Flagler Tavern events where there's revenue coming. Are these guys making money? The car show, are they making money? They got revenue coming in?
Not to my knowledge.
Nothing. Okay, got it. Thanks.
My only last question to follow up on that is if we did the 50% and treated it like a not-for-profit, and be a co-sponsor for this group, I would like to see the Canal Street Business Association contribute some of this because it does bring in revenue for a lot of the businesses, and I believe that was voted down to sponsor them, but maybe they could take that back and offer part of that to help pay for that instead of saying no to that. I would like to see them kick in that as well, instead as an organized group, because it does bring value to Canal Street, and they do have a budget.
Maybe for some enlightenment, you've got the president, Ms. Jones, and maybe she can speak to what's cooking there and give us some more enlightenment. Thanks.
Be clear, I have some questions.
Oh, you're coming.
So I would like to take that back to the board and present it, you know, the three, a triple relationship there. Our relationship with the last car show was we paid for their insurance, and then we rented barricades from them. And then after they left, we realized the barricades were part of the $500 fee, which we never knew before. So we do want to be part of it. It just was voted down that we would be the sole sponsor. So I would love to take that back to the board.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Is insurance still required, Director Salazar?
Yes, sir.
And who's paying that?
Currently, in the current structure of the event, the insurance is funded through the organizer.
And is it a paltry amount? What's the annual insurance? Any idea?
I would defer towards the Caswells to answer that.
We have an insurance policy through a separate agent, and the insurance policy for the show runs about $1,300 a year, a little over $100 a month that we pay out of our pocket in order to make this happen.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate that. Any other questions from the Vice Mayor? No? Good. Commissioner Martin.
Okay, the application that I reviewed in our agenda packet and that's there for the public indicates $500 a month for the closures. That's on page 1. And then in addition, we're asked about security. It says COPS, which I have been assured is a volunteer community on patrol. So there's a disconnect in my mind between the submission, the application submission, and what I'm hearing tonight. And there are more than one monthly show, street show in town, both on Canal and Flagler. And if we start now discounting any fees, we should also expect every other monthly show to come back and ask the same. So I would have deep concerns about offering any discounts. Thrilled to hear that Canal Street Historic District will reconsider their contribution. And I'm just disconcerted that there seems to be a disconnect between, the volunteer security and the cost security, as well as the 500 on page 1 of the application.
Clear that up at all, or do you understand the question?
I think I understand the question. I'd like to clarify that when I spoke with Chief, well, I didn't speak with him, he emailed, or it came through Granicus, regarding the security for the event. He noted that it would first be a volunteer, and if the volunteers were not available, then he would go to the paid officers or the paid service
But shouldn't that
aides.
have been clarified then on the application? Because the application indicates volunteer.
Thank you for your comment, ma'am. Rob, continue, and we'll have a readdress in a minute. Have there been any have you had a uniformed officer there, a paid officer there in the last 12 months?
Chief, would you be able to answer that one?
No, we've been able to cover it with our cops, our civilian patrol, and we plan on continuing to do that. But should that program diminish, then we would need to cover it with uniformed officers.
Got it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Any other questions from Commissioner Martin?
I'm just disconcerted that there seems to be a disconnect between the application and what I'm hearing tonight. So we're going to decide whether to keep the 500 a month. Is that what we're going to be deciding tonight?
We're going to find out what the vote is or what the motion is here in a second, I'm sure.
I'm looking for direction from the commission.
I think Commissioner Martin brought up that there are other shows in town. These are there's one on Flagler.
I think there's 1 or 2 a month.
Are they profit making? Do they make money? These other events?
As far as I know, most of the other ones, they're all for profit.
They're all for profit. And there's no money coming in on this group. So this is not really.
Not to my knowledge that this group is for profit.
These other places have resources because they're getting money coming in the door.
And just
for a
keep in mind, Mayor, this was the rescue for us at the time. If you remember, when they left, they said that the city pushed him out, even though we haven't pushed him out. So he came in and he rescued this car show. So we worked with him on that regard. Whether the application says it's the cops or not, I don't think that's really the issue. Is right now the cops take care of it. If there is a bigger issue, we have an officer. We had it for a whole year. And to my knowledge, and the chief just confirmed, we didn't have any police officer there. The fee for the building department, which is the $550, that would remain. The $500 is supposed to be the special event fee to cover the staff time, which is really, it's $165, the actual time. So that's why we kind of like thought about maybe co-sponsoring. I don't think there is any other events in the city that goes into the same fashion. You know, you got the wine walk, you got this walk, but it's not really the same type of events to look at.
Appreciate the clarity. Thank you, sir. Commissioner McGurk.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay. Let me clear up this money. We have $500 for a special event fee. We have $500 for the building department.
$550 for the
$550
building.
for the
That's
building
for the continuing special events.
We also have $165 for labor. What I think I just heard was the special event fee of $500 covers the $165 labor. That's not an additional cost.
Yes, sir.
The building department $550 is not up for discussion. That is going to be paid.
That would remain.
So the only thing that we're discussing tonight is the $500 special event fee.
For $500
Is
every
that
month.
per event or is that annually?
It's per event. So you can talk about $6,000.
Yeah.
It's 500 times 6.
Okay.
Because it's, well,
12.
times 12.
So, okay, good. That answered my question. I cleared up all the numbers and make sure I understood it correctly. So, you know, I commend the Caswells for putting this together. We can all debate a lot of different things. We can debate the importance of a car show in general. It disappeared. Seems to be still a significant amount of support for it in the community. It does pain me that it seems to be popular, but we don't necessarily seem to be able to come up with relatively small amount of money over the course of a year to cover it. So you start asking yourself, okay, well, who wants it? Who's coming to it? It is a free event. It is so I agree that I like the discussion we're having because it's bringing up the reality of the issues. It's a nonprofit. I just want to clarify by all the parties involved that are here tonight, it is a nonprofit and nobody is making any income from it. That's correct? Okay.
I see the heads nodding. It's even a little different than not-for-profit. There is no income. As in a not-for-profit, there's generally income. This is $0 in and $500 a month out the door or so, whatever that number is.
Got it. So I want to see this event continue. I would love to see part of that 500, I guess what I'm concerned mostly about is this precedent that we said, it always happens. When we do something special for one person, other people start coming in. I mean, it's another issue tonight that we addressed with the school, with the police officer at Sacred Heart. That is a similar situation that could potentially bring some headaches down the road. I'm willing to continue this for 1 year, one more year. But what I would really like to see is the business community, the people on Canal Street, step up. Somebody needs to step up so the city is not funding this. There's either a desire and a demand to have this in the community, which appears, did I read 172 cars, Mr. Gazzle? So there's got to be some way. I don't know if it's some partnership with the chamber. I don't know if there's got to be a way for all these, for a number of people on Canal Street, the businesses on Canal Street, maybe a partnership with the chamber to be able to make up this $500. So I'm willing to do it for 1 more year, but I'm not necessarily supporting this after another year.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Hartman.
So I'm kind of in agreement with Jason and Lisa on this. I don't want to set precedents, but I think it is positive. So I was thinking more in line of waiving it for the first quarter and then having them come back to us with the canal merchants, and maybe if they can find another sponsor to where we're sharing the sponsorship, and then if it comes up again on Flagler or somewhere else, it's less of a burden on us in the future. So I certainly would support it for the first quarter. If they're going to pay the major fee, it would last the entire year. Follow me? It would last the entire year. They wouldn't have to repay that. Sure. But we'd support it for the first quarter and then have it either you, staff, or them come back to us with some definite numbers, with some partnerships, and actually a cost sharing with some other people, either through the chamber or through Canal Merchants, or they may even find a sponsor that would help them out. So.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. After I go, you can get a second chance here, okay? Can you square me away on the cost to the city? Is the $165 in labor to do the signs? So that's the cost. The rest of that is profit or revenue for the city of the 550. So if we were, right?
No,
if we were true partners.
Hold on, no.
Say it again?
The building permit is the 550. So typically, through the standard procedure that I would be following, there'd be the $500 major special event. The labor cost would come from that 500.
Right,
So
and that's per event.
Yes, per
So
monthly event.
160, is that what the number is?
Yes.
Your cost was
165.
160.
Yes, sir.
That's the total cost for the city.
But the mayor, the $500, the special event fee, the 165 is the labor fee. The rest of it is the administration fee that goes along with it. So that's what the $500 is.
The administration fee.
Administration of the whole thing from beginning to end.
Okay, and that's per event.
Per event.
$500 per event. Can you help me with what we're spending what is costing $500 per event?
Whatever administrative time would go into it. There would be overhead. There'd be excess overhead from the 500 minus the 165, yes.
Say some more about that. What is that?
Time, my time, assistant director time, rec staff time, just reviewing the application. The special events committee, there's 7 departments that make up that committee, their time reviewing the application. So that's the administrative time that Colin's referencing.
Got it.
It's a fee that was set by the commission
sure.
some time back. So for special event,
Got
it's got $500 fee.
I got you. Okay, thanks for the clarity. Appreciate that. I did meet with the old Beach Cruisers president, and when they had a problem with the Merchants Association, just to try to make a peace between the Canal Street Business Association and the folks running the show. The problem from the Canal Street Business Merchants Association was showing up early when that wasn't in the rules, putting their lawn chairs, their cigarettes, and their alcohol or whatever they're consuming in front of the entrances to the shops. We had an outcry of merchants that said, "Get rid, we don't like this." Instead, and speaking with the president, he said, "Well, we can do something about that." The very next week, we're out. The city has thrown us out. We don't want to comply with the rules that we agreed to. We're leaving town. And so that was a harsh thing. And then a bath that we took on, this commission took on social media for chasing them out of town, which was totally inaccurate. So my hat's off to the Caswells and your friends for coming out. No secret, I'm friends of the Caswells. I like the car show. I understand the city expense. So, and full disclosure, I don't want the city to lose money on it. But I struggle to understand that it takes us $6,000 a year to administrate this. It doesn't track for me. But that's my bias. Any other questions or comments? Commissioner Martin, I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I sure do. I mean, I'd like to sort of flip this for a minute, and I can't help but wonder if this would be supported by the Canal Street Historic District if it weren't a boon to the shops and restaurants on Canal Street. So I think that that's something to be taken into consideration. I am sorry that we are undervaluing staff time. I mean, there is, after all, we have to pay for the cops' vehicles, if nothing else, as long as, and the cops are the volunteer. There is maintenance, there is takedown, there is cleanup afterwards. There is a real cost to this, and since it is just, it functions as a profit maker for Canal Street shops and businesses, I think that would, if we reduce the fees on this, every other street show would have the same basis for coming back to say, hey, we can have our fees reduced too. So I think it's a very bad precedent, and I'm going to assume, and perhaps Ms. Jones could elaborate on that, whether it would be supported if it were not profitable to the businesses on Canal Street.
Thank you for your, did you want her to talk now?
No, I mean, that's up to you.
Okay, very good. No reason, ma'am. We know your position. Okay, any other discussion? I think Commissioner Hartman had an idea for a motion, so I'll go back over there and see if I can get a motion on that.
I'll make a motion that we approve it for the first 3 months of 2024 with the stipulation that we co-sponsor the event by waiving the $500 monthly fee and have them report back to us about possible other shared funding sources going forward.
There's a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Discussion, please.
Yes, ma'am.
So let me understand this. You're going to waive it for 3 months, but then it's going to default back to the $6,000 or $500 a month plus the $550.
It would have to come back before us.
So, and
A new
if
funding plan.
if we did the half like we do for the nonprofits, what would that save them? If we handle it just like the other nonprofit continuous events,
If we do
would it be
50% of the
just
fee,
Only 250 or the per month?
The 250 would be 3,000 for the year. With Commissioner Hartman's plan, the $550 building permit would have to be in place regardless, so that's going to happen either way. So that'll be due now for January. And then if the plan for Commissioner Hartman that he's calling for, that would waive basically $1,500 of the fee. And then we'd come back in February or March for April's meeting with whatever, or April's show with whatever sponsorship funding source that the car show has solicited. That's my understanding of the plan Commissioner Hartman's outlining.
So if we didn't do it that way, and if we said we would pay the half of the sponsorship, then it's their own problem finding the other half, whether Canal Street does it or they do it through individuals, that's their problem. We don't have to see them again in 3 months, correct?
If we say we're waiving 50% of the fee, then the fee is just reduced by 50%.
And what I'm proposing is we'll give you another year. Now's the time when you got to show up and get out there and determine whether or not it's viable after a year.
So all those are possible. My view is that all those are possible even with Randy's current motion and second. Just puts a line in the sand that says we're going to do something for 3 months and then we're going to do something different. And we'll look at it again after Ms. Jones can figure out what the Flagler Avenue group can do. And then it could be full vote, it could be whatever this commission decides. I think that's the motion on the floor. I understand your short circuit of, hey, we'll just do it 50% all year long. And that's still available at the 3 month mark, so we can try it again.
If I may, just,
yes, sir.
Just as a comment, we did not have takers when the other group left. So the question is, do we want this car show? And if we want this car show, and this is the group that wanted to take it on, then the co-sponsor would be my recommendation. Because what happens is if they don't and we want it, well, who's going to run it? It's going to be the city. And guess what? I will bet you that it would cost a lot more than $6,000 if we run it. So that's the question, I guess, that I will ask myself is, do we want this car show? And what I'm hearing that there is quite a few hundreds that they attend. They like the car show. So if we want it, then that's what you need to think about.
Very good. Any further discussion before we vote?
My thought process is you've taken November numbers, so you've had a major holiday around the same time as the car show. You're going to have a lot of shoppers on Canal Street for the month of December. So January and February would give them a better idea of what their monthly attendance is going to be. And I'm not opposed to co-sponsoring this, but we certainly could co-sponsor it with somebody else, either with the chamber or with Canal Merchants. So I think that needs to get looked at and then brought back to us, and then we'll be in the same position. They're either going to leave, or we're going to sponsor it, or
can I touch on that?
But I think
that's what I was saying. There wasn't any takers at the time, whether the chamber or whether the merchants, because they couldn't take it on. So
if we co-sponsor with another entity that's not the East Coast Cruisers or the Caswells or whoever that car people are, then it's coming to my department to facilitate. I don't have 172 hours to deal with 172 different cars who need that hour to talk to come to the car show that week. So I understand what you're saying. I would respectfully not prefer that option.
Got it. So we got it. It would be out of hide, unplanned, unbudgeted expense that you're not prepared to support. I got that. And I get it. You don't want to run the car show.
Yes, correct.
I got it. Okay. But we have a motion on the floor and a second. to do a waiver for the 3 months and then bring it back and look at it all over again and see whether we want to go with something that the Vice Mayor proposed. Something else may pop from Canal Street or from Chamber, or we say, you know, after taking our poll, we all know that that's out there, so we should go out and do our due diligence and find out, hey, is this a small group, big group? Does everybody really want this? Or do we not want to be known for our car show? And then we can get rid of it. Either way. That's how I see the thing lining up. Any other discussion? Anybody else want to make a comment? Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hartman.
Yes.
Commissioner Martin.
No.
Vice Mayor Perine.
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk.
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Salazar. Appreciate you being on the hot seat there.
Thank you.
Okay, on to section 9, which is ordinances and second readings. We're going to have a second reading and a public hearing on ordinance 8323, which if adopted would authorize New Smyrna Beach Utilities to enter into a contract for longer than 4 years with the Census USA Incorporation for New Smyrna Beach Utilities AMI Grid System Project. Madam City Attorney, will you please read the ordinance 8323 for the second time by title only?
Ordinance number 8323, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach authorizing the Utilities Commission, City of New Smyrna Beach, to enter into a contract with Census USA, Inc. for the Advanced Metering Infrastructure, AMI, Smart Grid System for a term exceeding 4 years, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. City Manager, would you set this up for your report, sir?
The utilities, the NSB utilities, they had on October 27th, they presented this item before their commission. And basically, it's a contract with AMI for the Smart Grid System project. Because it's over 4-year contracts, they have to have the commission approve their contract. Somebody representative from the utilities is here in case if you have any questions. So, John, you want to come forward and see if you're going to add anything to it? But anyway, it's almost $8.9 million contract, and it's probably for about 10 years. John, am I correct? The contract.
Yeah, John McMurray, New Smyrna Beach Utilities. It's a 10-year contract.
Thanks, John.
Okay.
We're ready to listen. Go ahead, John.
Okay. So New Smyrna Beach has successfully implemented recommendations from our commission-approved modernization roadmap for the past 4 years. A number of those programs and systems have yielded visible customer improvements, the outage management system being most recent. However, as identified in our final modernization plan report in 2020, advanced metering and smart grid infrastructure is the top priority foundational system due to its direct beneficial impact on many other dependent programs. The AMI smart grid investment will facilitate and improve the capabilities of 8 of the 23 programs detailed in our modernization plan. The process for the RFP 1922 started over 18 months ago. In June, New Smyrna Beach recommended Census as our vendor and began to contract negotiations. As a result of that approval and subsequent negotiations over the last 4 months, over $4 million in reductions were achieved from the initial bid, a combination of reduction in scope and managed services, which is a few items there that we were able to carve out. And on November 27, 2023, the New Smyrna Beach Utilities Commission approved the recommended award contract of approximately $8.9 million to Census. The total award is comprised of a $5.9 million for meter and grid infrastructure capital costs, and also the 10-year managed services contract valued at $3 million. Our staff, NSBU staff and Quanta Consulting believe that Sensus, with an installed meter base of over 46 million meters around the world, serving over 1,400 utilities, has demonstrated a history of success in delivering AMI and smart grid systems across the world, and is also the vendor that's best situated to deliver a turnkey, cost-effective system for our utility. It's also expected that the investment will will be in place to serve us well and beyond the 10-year contract. So typical AMI systems go 20 years and beyond, 15, 20, 25 years, and with additional capabilities delivered through technology that can be added to the platform. Because the contract with Sensus is 10 years, as we mentioned earlier, it's longer than 4 years, which our NSBU Commission can approve. It also requires your City Commission's approval. Following the NSBU Commission approval and the City's first reading on 11/28, staff recommends approving the City of New Smyrna Beach Resolution 83-23 after its second reading tonight. That's it. Any
Thank
questions?
you, Mr. McMurray. Yeah, are we leading or are we following in technology here?
So around 90% of the meters in Florida are AMI smart meters. We're the last 10%. So AMI started back in 2005, and we're trying to bring our utility into the future. And so,
Thank you for that comment. Appreciate it. Any other questions from any commissioner?
No questions, but can I say, I was there for the presentation to the NSB Utilities Commission, and it's an exciting program, and I know you've worked long and hard on it, John, and thank you, and you have a great tie on.
Thank you for your remarks, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for your presentation. Any other discussion? Is there a motion? I'm sorry, I want to open to public hearing. Is there any citizen that would like to speak on the topic? Thank you, John, for your presentation. Is there a motion for ordinance 8323?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Breen?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Motion carries. Item 9B is ordinance 7923 to conduct a second reading and public hearing on an ordinance which, if adopted, would grant a non-exclusive franchise agreement renewal to Waste Management Incorporated of Florida. Madam City Attorney, if you'll read the ordinance for the second time by title only, please.
Ordinance number 7923, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach granting a non-exclusive franchise to Waste Management, Inc. of Florida to provide construction and demolition debris removal services within the City of New Smyrna Beach, outlining franchisees' duties, providing terms and conditions under which such franchise shall operate, providing for severability, providing for conflicting ordinances, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Mr. City Manager, would you
Yes,
set
sir.
this up, please?
Section 66-111 of our Code of Ordinances require any demolition or debris removal that they have to get a non-exclusive contract with the City of New Smyrna Beach. So Waste Management Incorporated of Florida, they have submitted an application for this. They have met all the requirements in the application. And it would be, it's a 3-year contract with an additional 1-year term upon approval of both parties. It's a normal process that we afford every company that they come in as long as they meet the requirements. This is for the roll-off that you see on some of these residential homes and commercial homes where you have the roll-offs for debris removal and also for construction and demolition. Our maintenance operation director is here to answer any further questions if you have any.
Any questions for Director Ray? Have any comments you want to just make to us to make us smarter, David?
Khaled hit it right on the head. This is a standard agreement that we do for all companies that are doing roll-offs for C&D, and I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions for David Ray? Thank you for your opportunity. Appreciate your comments there. Public hearing is now open. Are there any citizen who wish to speak on this topic, please approach the podium. Seeing none, public participation is now closed. May I have a motion, please, to adopt ordinance 7923?
Motion to approve ordinance 7923.
We have a motion.
Second.
And a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Breen,
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman.
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes,
Thank
thank you. The motion carries. Appreciate that. Mr. McMurray, thank you. And Director Ray, thank you. Okay, we have a public hearing to consider the adoption of the following ordinances regarding annexation of the properties located at 664 Luella Street. Madam City Attorney, will you please read ordinance 8023, 8123, and 8223 for the second time by title only?
Ordinance number 8023, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach annexing 1 ± acres of property located on the west side of Luella Street, north of Pioneer Trail, addressed as 664 Luella Street, providing for redefining boundaries of the city, designating the property within Commission Zone 3, providing for public hearing, providing for required filings, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date. Ordinance number 8123, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach amending the comprehensive plan, changing the future land use designation of 1 ± acres of land located on the west side of Luella Street, north of Pioneer Trail, addressed as 664 Luella Street, from Volusia County Rural to City Rural, providing for amendment of the associated comprehensive plan maps to show the area incorporated into the city, providing for public hearing, providing for conflicting ordinances, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that.
Sorry, one more. Ordinance number 8223, an ordinance of the City of New Smyrna Beach rezoning 1 ± acres of property located on the west side of Luella Street, north of Pioneer Trail, addressed as 664 Luella Street, from Volusia County A3A Transitional Agriculture Airport Overlay to City A3A Transitional Agriculture Airport Overlay Zoning District, providing for conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing an effective date.
Okay, and that's 3. Senior Planner, Mr. Mathan, is present. Bobby, your report, sir.
Yes, sir. So the property owner has requested a voluntary annexation, comprehensive plan amendment, rezoning from Volusia County future land use designation of rural and a Volusia County zoning designation of A3 transitional agriculture with an A attached for the airport height notification zone to a compatible city future land use designation of rural and a city zoning designation of A3 transitional agriculture, and still attaching the A for the airport height notification zone. The site contains approximately 1 ± acres. It's located on the west side of Luella Street, north of Pioneer Trail, and the address of the property is 664 Luella Street. At the regular scheduled meeting on November 6, 2023, the Planning and Zoning Board voted 6-0 to give a positive recommendation to the City Commission to approve the requested overall annexation application. Staff also recommends the City Commission to approve the requested annexation, small-scale comprehensive plan amendment, amending the future land use to City Rural and rezoning to City A3 transitional agriculture with an A attached for the airport height notification zone. And that's a summary of the staff report, subject to any questions the commissioners may have.
Thank you. Any questioners for the Senior Planner? Thank you very much, Bob.
Thank you.
Public hearing is now open. Are there any citizens who wish to speak on this topic? Please approach the podium and you'll be heard. Seeing none, public participation is now closed. The commission will now consider adoption of each ordinance separately. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 8020? Motion and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McGurk,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Breen,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. It's adopted. May I have a motion for 8123?
So moved.
There's a motion
Second.
and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hartman,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Breen,
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes, thank you very much. And may I have a motion for 8223, please?
So moved.
A
Second.
motion and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Breen,
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk,
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman,
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate that. All of those are approved. Now on to boards and commissions. We have the Historic Preservation Commission to consider reappointments of 2 members to serve a 3-year term expiring May 14th, 2026. Madam City Clerk, your report, please, ma'am.
Yes, good evening. Per direction at the last meeting, I've brought this item back for official consideration for reappointment for 2 of the current members, Terry Bledsoe and Joanna Mahood, that are serving on the Historic Preservation Commission. They've been serving a little bit over 6 months in those roles. Joanna Mahood as chair, Terry Bledsoe as member. And tonight I'm asking for the reappointment consideration of both members. They have been present at those meetings. There is 1 excused absent for member Bledsoe for this year. No unexcused absences, and both of their applications were updated and are online for viewing.
Thank you so very much. Appreciate that. Is there a motion to reappoint Joanna Mahood and Terry Bledsoe to continue serving their 3-year appointment expiring May 14th, 2026 as members of the Historic Preservation Board?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. Madam City Clerk, please call the roll.
Vice Mayor Perine?
Yes.
Commissioner McGurk?
Yes.
Commissioner Hartman?
Yes.
Commissioner Martin?
Yes.
Mayor Cleveland?
Yes. To Joanna and Terry, thank you for your continued service. The city clerk will be in touch. We appreciate your service to the city. And now on to reports from the commission. And so we'll start with our Vice Mayor, Vice Mayor Perine.
Just have a couple of things. I sent out the stats for the First Step Shelter today and asked them to be shared, and I think they were. So you can see the numbers. We have 10 people from New Smyrna that have been already there this year since October. Also, I'm planning on going to Tallahassee the end of January for the final of the legislation meetings that I started back in October.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Commissioner Hartman.
Just happy holidays, everybody, and a prosperous new year. We'll see you on Thursday, I guess.
Perfect. Busy week. Commissioner Martin.
The New Smyrna Beach High School traffic light. I am so proud of our city that we contributed money for this project that provides enhanced safety for our students. And I'm looking forward to the ribbon cutting on January 11th now. Great Christmas parade. Kudos to the leisure services and maintenance ops departments for setup, parade, and cleanup. Thank both departments for all of that. And I hope that next year we remember to invite Edgewater and Oak Hill to join us. And many thanks to maintenance ops for the restoration work on the Canova grave. It looks fabulous. And happy holidays.
Thank you, ma'am. Commissioner McGurk.
Thank you, Mayor. I was approached by somebody who asked me what the process would be on naming the park on the corner of Myrtle and Canal Lois Tipton Park. Lois Tipton is a multi-generational resident, had Tipton Forest. She used to write in the newspaper. I think it was monthly. It may have been quarterly. Old Ways, something to that effect, profiling the historic aspects of New Smyrna Beach. So I talked to Kyle about it. Obviously, he wanted me to bring it up. I don't know what the process is, but the most important thing is to get the commission blessing on the proceeding with that process. So,
Without objection to proceed with the city manager preparing that for a future discussion here. Without objection? Great, let's do that.
She would have been 100 years. She came in with her, I think when she was 98, she came into the city commission meeting when we were at the Brannan Center. So she's a long New Smyrna. So I'll be more than happy to bring back.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Do you have any, do you want to just call it like Tipton's Park?
I can clarify that as we go down the road, whether it's the Lois Tipton Park or Tipton Park. Anyway, she owned property around it. Her florist shop was around it. It was actually pretty funny. One time when she came in, she said, there's the historical issues though. She said, My place isn't historical, it's just old. She was a feisty woman. She was a real pleasure to see in the community and navigate the community. I want to touch on the complaint we had about the roosters. That is a real problem in the community. It is a very touchy one because people either love them or they hate them. They have attacked a lot of people. There's been a number of people associated with Cormeth Church, some of the older people who work there and are in those parking lots who've been attacked. So that's a real issue. However, I mean, talking a lightning rod over a bird that wanders the streets. That'll be interesting.
Can't wait for you to lead us through that discussion and get us there.
I'm going to back up and launch a train wreck in front of me. Thanks, staff, for the Christmas parade. It was fantastic. I loved it. Chief, thank you very much for accommodating me. I mean, I owe you big time on that one, and we'll get everything done how you want for next year. With that, happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. So a couple of things. Hats off to the fire department for taking care of all of us. And I found out that it happens to be Chief Vandermark's favorite day of the year. He loves the parade. He loves organizing the commission and the fire trucks. It's probably his most favorite chore. And so when he plays this tape, he'll appreciate that remark. They did a great job squiring us. Not to mention Director Salazar's effort with the team out there in force to make sure it went off like clockwork. I would estimate the crowd to be much more than last year, and the tape that was on Canal Avenue was very effective. People stayed back, moms and dads kept their kids back, and so we might want to commend that. It's a cheap solution and probably gets to where the chief was trying to get to for safety. So I appreciate that. Mrs. Cleveland threw 200 pounds of candy at that event and calculated to be 11,053 pieces of candy. So I'm grateful for that. Thank you, Walmart and Sam's. The parade did include the mayor from Edgewater, so I'd like to thank publicly Diesel Depew for participating in our parade. The boat parade the other night, put on by the Anglers Club, was a raging success. We had 43 entries last year. There were 65 entries this year. Thank you, Anglers Club, for always putting on an amazing show. Lastly, to the group that, between the legal team and the planning group, who put together the city forum on Chapter 50. Ron, you did an excellent job of playing the host and making sure all voices were heard. It was well presented, and it was well attended, and it was well represented by the variety of sides of that issue. So I'm grateful and proud of our town for being able to have civil discourse and keeping the civility with a capital C. Lastly, to all the city employees, Colin, your team has been amazing. It's been a fantastic year for this commission. Certainly the three of us newbies have learned a lot in the 12 months that we've been here under your tutelage. Thank you, and a well-deserved hats off to you and the entire team. Thank you very much. To everybody watching, and everybody still in the room, thank you for attending. For those of you watching from home, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah for those of you that celebrate that, and we are now adjourned.